What's going on, everybody? It's your boy C-Zar with C-Zar Gets Crypto, and we are talking about Bitcoin today. We're looking at it on the Coinbase chart. I've got it in Heikinashi right now, actually, from earlier. Looking at it here, let's see. Let's refresh this so we can get everything on there. BTC USD, Coinbase, delete that there. All right, cool. So looking at it just from a price perspective right now, from top, from all-time high, okay, not all-time high, but near all-time high, to the current cycle's low, right there. There we go. We have, kind of disrespected this 382 area. A lot of people are talking about us going back to 20K to 22K. There's a couple reasons for that. 20K obviously being the previous all-time high area over there. We also have a little tip right there just below 20K, something like that. And there's also, if you look at this on a price basis, there's a closing and kind of resistance area along with the 236 being around 22K. I'm starting to believe, I really am. I know that I made my original video talking about where I thought Bitcoin would go after this drop, where I was thinking it would go, and I was saying the same thing as what a lot of people are saying right now. I think it could go to 20K, somewhere around there, maybe even lower than 20K. But truthfully, guys, I'm more convinced now that we're not going to see prices that low. I think that what's going to happen is we're probably going to not bottom, but find a low, right? Find a low, and I mean, this was the bottom. I don't think we're going to go set a new low. Other than that, right? I think that's the bottom. We're going to set a slightly lower low here, resting on the support of this kind of unorthodox head and shoulders, inverse head and shoulders, if you can call it that. It's like a tumor of a left shoulder and a very small, petite right shoulder, just as big as your head. That'd be like a shoulder that's just as big as your head, which doesn't make sense anyways, right? Your head is bigger than your shoulders. Anyways, maybe width-wise they're the same, so maybe this one does make sense. Anyways, what I'm trying to say is on a weekly basis we have a closing and an opening two times, over here. Closed and open and then closed and open right there. Found resistance, and I think that that's the area that we're going to find our support on. It is just a little bit unorthodox because, from top to bottom, it's not on a fib extension. It's not really on a major fib at all. If we take it from this low here to high, I mean, it is right on the 382. It is right on the 382, this most relative fib right here. And I mean, arguably you could take it from this high even, and then it is a little bit below that. We might not, whenever I say we hold this line, we could go down here. It's totally possible. That's at, what that line's at 24.3K. We could go, give or take $500 probably. I think that we would at least touch this line, but more likely do go a little bit lower. But not by much, not by much. I don't even know if we would hit that 382. I really do like this as a setup right here. And I know I haven't been using this high for a lot of things, but if we use it on a weekly, it kind of makes more sense. If you look at it on a monthly, I'm going to take away the big fib here. It kind of makes more sense to take it from that top, and being that this is the overall move up, I think we're having a corrective phase right now, which who knows how long that takes. In any bull market that we've had, for example, we go to BTC USD on the index here. We can see that the last bull cycle, whenever we had our initial pop-up, we had a corrective phase that didn't find its low. I'm not even talking about when we started turning up again, but it didn't find its low for about 9 months, including the top 10 months. Here we came up and then we had a little corrective phase. It didn't find its low. I mean, technically it found it after, like a month after, or here it found it 2 months after, right? But all in all, you didn't break out. You didn't start moving upwards for like 6 months, something like that. And arguably here, it took 10 months before you started moving upwards. So, there's that. Here, this was the end of a bull market. This was a very short bear market, and then we continued a bull market here. So that's not really a good example, but there's not a lot of history to go off of with Bitcoin to kind of compare it, but I would think that whenever we do find this low, it'll probably be soon, the current low, right? Probably be soon, and I think basing it, if this is an overall bullish trajectory going up, finding support on the 382 is a very common thing, especially whenever you want to see continuation. I'm sorry, I can't talk, man. Continuation up to, I think, what would that price be? That was at like 34, right around there, or 24.7. If you want to see continuation on from this and you want to see the extensions met at about 34.2K to 37K, maybe even higher, bouncing off the 382, this overall kind of like more relative 382 to me that would make sense. And again, that 382 is at $24,164. Looking at the monthly here, we are below the 50, which I think is kind of interesting to point out. You know, I've pointed it out a couple times. Anytime that we have gone below the 50 after a major cycle top, we get above it and then we don't go below it for quite some time. You know, we get above it, we don't go below it for quite some time. We get above it and we went below it, but not after quite some time. How long did that take actually? Whenever we were above it here, didn't get below it until almost a year later. So, you know, here we've gotten above it and it hasn't been like a short amount of time, but it's been a lot less than a year, right? It's been 5 months. So more than half of the amount, or less than half of the amount of time that it took last time on this shortest stint above the 50. Could we do something like this again? You know, could we go down here, bounce off like the 45 area, and then turn up? Maybe. You know, that's possible too. But something to kind of take into consideration. I think it's very interesting and honestly not a good thing that we got above the 50 on the monthly like this, bounced, and then it's like a fake bounce, and then we're actually pursuing lower prices. That's kind of worrying to a certain degree. But Bitcoin likes to mess with people, so don't be too scared. Don't be too worried. Looking at this thing, you're rejecting. Wow, you tipped the 236, man. I really do believe that Bitcoin will see this 382. Maybe we go up a little bit more from here. Maybe we don't. Let's look at the 4 hour before we like close off this video here. I mean, man, the last time that you were up this high, that was what sent us down, right? This is hidden bearish divergence to a certain degree. I mean, yes, this high is the highest high of this range, so technically it's not, but you know, you were showing, I don't know, to be fair, you're getting the same readings as you got back here, and I would say this is a stronger move up than this is. But all in all, I don't know, it's an area that you found rejection a couple times, more than, I bet if we go back, it's more than just a couple times. Yeah, so stuff up in this area, right here, right there. Being that we've already closed down, it does look like a rejection from that area, so it would be completely possible that we've seen the entirety of this move up, and I think that we're going to resume the move down. I think a lot of people are probably looking at this like it's a double bottom, and then once it's broken, people will panic sell, maybe people will start to go short, and right around that time, like not shortly after that, is where we will find our low. Again, I know a lot of people are calling for like 20K to 22K, but at the moment, I'm not in Bitcoin, so you know, if it goes that low, great. But I'm more looking toward about like 24.3 to 24K, somewhere in that range. Maybe even just below 24K. That's my honest interpretation. Let's see if this fib lines up with that actually. From low there to high there. You do have a 1618 right around, and the 1786 right around this overall 382, right? That's the 382 there. So I don't know. It would make sense to me, especially on a smaller fib range. You do see these deeper extensions kind of come into play. You might even see the 2272, but who knows? We'll see whenever we get there. I want to look at the 1 hour real quick. Yeah, I really do feel confident in saying that this is the end of this up move. Could be wrong. I really could be wrong. You know, so far you still are above the 50. You're kind of showing neutral price action along with a neutral RSI to the bullish side. But I don't know, man. I'm kind of convinced if it were to make another run up, it's not going to be that big. It would move up. Let's see. It would go, assuming we don't go lower, probably still below 28K. Maybe you get up to like this previous area where you found a little bit of support on. You see some deeper extensions around like 27.7, just below 28K, something like that. But I doubt that you go too much higher, man. You are, keep in mind, you are above the purple line and you are below the 50 on your long-term RSI. That is generally a good time to sell. This could be an exception, but I don't know, man. This RSI is looking like it might be done with its uptrend at the moment. But it still has some proving to do, I guess. You know, you still do have higher lows. You still are above the 50, but ending it with bearish divergence here at the top, it's not necessarily a good look, but it's not condemning either. You might have already had your move, so it's hard to say, but all in all, regardless of what we do in the short term overall, I do think that we're going to go lower than this, probably to that overall 382 at around 24,261, and then from there, you know, maybe we move sideways for a little bit, maybe we meander, but all in all, we're going to go up after that. I don't think that we're going to break this low. I do think that we're going to break this low, and I don't think we're going to break it too dramatically. I think we slightly break it, and then we turn up from there. That's my honest opinion. So if you guys like the video, leave a thumbs up, subscribe to see more, and I will see you guys on the next one. Take care. Bye-bye. Adios.